We have completed the Angular front-end part and hosted our application on Firebase in session 1. Now in session 2, we will build a web API for our application that is going to expose different CRUD operations. We'll see how to consume these API in Angular application to save and retrieve data from the database. And beauty of developing an application using this approach is that these kind of applications are highly scalable and distributed. We can host our front-end API and database on different servers to scale up the application as per our need. And this web API can not only be consumed by our Angular application, but can be consumed by various apps developed for other devices like tab and mobile phones. In this session, we will not only understand the basic of web API, but also implement various best practices that are needed while developing enterprise level application. Let's quickly look at the topics we are going to cover in this session. First of all, we will set up development environment. We will install all the tools and extensions those are required to create a web API. Then we will create our first API project using ASP.NET Core and review the default project files and understand the flow of data. We will add a new API method to expose a list of cities that we will consume in our Angular application to populate the list of cities in drop-down here. Then we will add our first model for city, and we will use that model in Entity Framework and learn to create database and tables using code first approach in this lesson. We will understand how to fetch the data from DB using link queries. Then we will implement repository pattern. It will help to decouple our business logic from the data access layer. We will understand everything in detail, like what are the benefits of this pattern and many more in this section. In a distributed application, it is always better to transfer data using DTO instead of directly exposing the data using domain entities. In this section, we will understand how to create DTO for different types of transactions and what are the benefits of those. Next, whenever we use DTO, we always have to map properties from DTO to domain and vice versa. That we can do manually, but this is really a cumbersome process. AutoMapper will help to do this mapping with very little efforts here. In this section, we will understand how to implement AutoMapper. After setting all these patterns and best practices, we will implement CRUD operation for the city model. Next, we will learn how to handle exceptions in API. Then we will implement security so that malicious user cannot get access to our sensitive data. Next, we will see how to create beautiful documentation that we can provide to our API consumer. Finally, we will deploy our API on Microsoft Azure and IaaS. Up to this level, we will finish creating API methods for user, role, and city master only. And these 3 domain classes are enough to understand all the concepts of web API. Then we will move over to the next session and complete our application by adding remaining features. So let's go ahead and set up our development environment to work on web API. We have used VS Code for Angular development, but I thought to ask you guys about what editor you would like to use for web API development. If you have not submitted your vote till now, please submit your opinion by going on community tab of my channel. It will help me to decide what editor I will use in upcoming videos. Although my preference is using VS Code as it is lightweight and it works same on Windows, Linux and Mac operating system. So if you would like to use VS Code, you will have to install a few tools and extension. And if you want to use Visual Studio, you just need to install this SQL Server or SQL Express in addition to Visual Studio 2019. Make sure you install Visual Studio 2019 because previous versions are not compatible to work with .NET 3 and above. And this SQL Server Management Studio we can use to browse the data. It is optional for both the cases because you can browse database table from Visual Studio only using Server Explorer. And using this extension in VS Code as well, you can run SQL commands to browse the table data in VS Code only. So if you want to use Visual Studio Code, follow along with me and install the required software and extensions. So go to .NET-Microsoft.com/download to download the latest version of .NET Core. Here on the download page, you can download the .NET Core SDK as per your operating system. You can click on this button to download the latest version. And if you need to install any other version, click on this and you will get a list of all versions. 3.1 is the latest one at this time I am recording this video. And next one, .NET 5, is still in preview. Please do not install this one. Click on it and download the installer as per your operating system. So SDK and required runtime to build a .NET Core applications are installed. You can confirm the same by running this command in command window or terminal window in VS Code. I already have multiple older version on my system. It is showing these SDK. We can install multiple SDK on single system without any problem. And these are the runtime installed on my system. You can get the latest version info installed on your system by running .NET-version. So .NET Core SDK has been installed. Next we need to install these extensions. Install C# from OmniSharp. It will enable syntax highlighting, IntelliSense, and go to definition and many more features that you usually get handy in Visual Studio. Install C# extension. Although it is not under development, but it is still useful and very helpful to create classes and interfaces just by clicking on a folder. And install this ASP.NET helper. It will speed up your development while creating models. And this essential ASP.NET Core. It will provide various useful code snippets to create controllers and many more functions. And during development, you will need to install packages from NuGet Package Manager. If you are not aware of this, this is an open source package manager for Microsoft platform development, just like NPM that we have used a lot in Angular application. And the last one is SQL Server. I already have installed this. We can use it to run various SQL queries on SQL Server database. You will get this icon after installing this extension, and you can connect to the various databases server available on your network, and even you can connect to the Azure database as well using this extension. I'll show you later how to use it to browse database tables. Next we need to install Postman. It will help us to test the API endpoints. Chrome browser provides an extension. If you search tabbed Postman REST client on Google, you will get the link to this extension. I already have installed this extension on my system. And also there is one dedicated app as well available on postman.com. You can install the same on your system. It provides a few more options. Although we just need to test API endpoint, and Chrome extension work pretty well for this use case. If you want, you can download this Postman app from the download section as per your operating system. You will have to sign up to use this tool. I already have an account on this, and I will show you how to use this in upcoming video. Next, if you would like to install Visual Studio 2019, you can install the same from visualstudio.microsoft.com. These one are not free. You can click this link to get only free Visual Studio download links. Good news is that Visual Studio Community Edition is now available for Mac operating system as well. But still we do not have any download available for Linux. Let me install it on my system. Maybe I will use it if I get more votes on my community page to use this editor. Once the installation is done, you will get to this workload page, and you will have to download this workload to work on WebAPI. These are the optional one, and I am not installing these one. We can install it later if these are required. If you look at the individual component, I can see there are still a lot of packages that I don't think needed for ASP.NET Core development, but this installation setup will not allow us to uncheck these, as it seems to be used by Visual Studio itself. This is what I really do not like about Visual Studio, as these packages really make our setup a very thick. So let's go with the default and install this workload. I already have a Visual Studio 2017 on my system. That is why you can see this here. So it's installed. You can set up the color theme. I am selecting black one as it consumes lesser energy. Perfect, it is installed. And last one, we need to install SQL Server. Go to this URL. If this URL is not working at your end, just search on Google download SQL Server and go to the download page. Microsoft provides these two free versions for developers, and Express version is lighter one, so I am installing this one as I do not need full-fledged SQL Server engine. To install the same on Mac and Linux, you will have to install it using Docker image. So let's go with the basic installation. It is installed, and if you want, you can install SQL Server Management Studio as well, or you can just use your editor to run SQL query. I already have this one on my system, and we can connect to the SQL Express database engine by browsing it from here. So our installation setup is complete for both VS Code and Visual Studio. Next we will create our first web API project. See you in next video. Stay tuned. Bye bye.